You've been waiting long for it. And here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. This, as the fireworks blast throughout the arena, is Money in the Bank. The green has hit the screen. The wrestlers are out here, ready and waiting for this absolutely massive event to take place. What is lying ahead of you is just over an hour of pure wrestling greatness. And boy, are we about to see an absolute masterclass of a card from wrestlers within the WU world. We have a triple threat match with a little guy, Hotshot Chaz, and Amazing Spiderman, followed by the women's Money in the Bank match of Mrs. Brew, Honey Thunderapples, Crazymamma, Miss Thunderthighs, Sassy Applebees, Revenge, Natalia, Nitro, and Cara Deville. So much more to come, just giving you a quick sneak peek of the card itself. But first, we have the triple threat match to kick it off. We have two people who previously competed in the Rumble match with Hotshot Chaz and Amazing Spider-Man. We also have Lil Guy making his debut online debut. All of them are tremendous competitors. Some of them even have ties to each other that we will get into as the match progresses. But for now, let's simply look at the tail of the tape. What do these wrestlers have that separates them from the rest? What makes them special? What makes them tick in a way? We're going to talk about them each throughout the entrances here. Starting off with our first competitor in this triple threat match. He is a man shrouded in come-up stories. A man waiting to burst at the seams with all of the potential that he has at his disposal. He is the certified supernova, the super bad man himself. This is Hotshot Chaz. Absolutely tremendous competitor. Let's take a look at just what lies under the belt for Mr. Hotshot Chaz. He is a member of the Anarchy stable within the Radical American Wrestling Federation, a member of the large faction group Warriors Inc. And recently he's even accomplished a little bit of a personal goal for himself, getting a USL Championship win with his brothers in the Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects, BOG, for his second USL Championship. Yes, sir, this man, like I said, a horde of potential, waiting to burst, just like the star of which he is named after. He's got it there on his shirt. Letting you know that at any moment he's going to break out, break free, and make a name for himself. Coming up next, we got a man loaded with potential. Now we have a man loaded with mystery, a masked man. In fact, this is Amazing Spider-Man, not to be confused with the Marvel superhero. This is, in fact, a man known by many names, formerly known as the Whole Effin' Show, RVD, formerly known by many monikers. Currently, he is the Amazing Spider-Man. He is the company owner for Avengers Assemble. And he's out here looking to show that he can do more than just GM. He can do more than do things behind the scene. He wants to get a win and make a big impact in the process. Look at the confidence here. You know, the opening match, a lot of people talk bad about the opening match. They're like, what am I supposed to do here when there's so many matches happening? When people are waiting for my match to get over. You have to make an impact. You have to get out there and show why the opener might as well be the main event. Make it your main event. And this next person, no stranger to the main event scene. Little Guy is here and ready to rumble. The only WU Hall of Famer in this match, being inducted in March of 2019. He has many accomplishments under his belt. Not only is he a winner of the UEW title, one of the highest regarded titles in Wrestler Unstoppable, he is a WWC winner as well for 8 and 21. He represented Germany in 8, North Korea in 11, and American Samoa in 12, and 21 in Asia being perhaps his best performance as co-captain and, of course, champion. Mountains of titles, but now he is in a new environment here. He is in WU Online. Everybody starting fresh, starting on equal measures here. We get into it now. 3 very different wrestling styles. A little bit of overlap, but for the most part, we have 3 Very different individuals. As the match begins, Money in the Bank has officially kicked off. We're getting kicks straight to Little Guy's legs, but it is quickly shut down by the Supernova. Chaz is the first person to get a good amount of offense in here, and Little Guy is just happy to sit back and let his opponents fight each other. But now, before he gets involved himself here, Chaz very efficient with his offense here in the early goings. Now before elbows get delivered to his stomach by Little Guy. That's the thing about triple threat matches. You have a lot of opportunities. Big sunset flip there. You have a lot of opportunities to let your opponents do the damage for you. You have a lot of opportunities to let them wear each other out to where you don't have to worry about much. You can just let most of the damage be done to your opponent by somebody else. You can sit back, sip a coffee, have a good time. And then you have situations like this where one member of the match is eliminated, even just briefly. Not fully eliminated, but taken out of the ring, taken out of the match, metaphorically, giving you an opportunity. Little Guy on the top rope here. He's going to be going for something big. And a moonsault from the accomplished member of Bar. Now remember here, I did talk about some brief connections here. We got a big bulldog from the corner. Little Guy and Hotshot Chaz are both currently members of Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects, Bar. On their way to... Oh, big super kick from the fellow Bar member. They are on their way to a finals match this weekend as we speak. But as you can see here, when these two get in the ring, they know one-on-one, triple threat. If they are enemies in a match, if it's them versus each other, you gotta throw down all the same. Little Guy bring the pain to Hotshot Chaz. Another big move off the top rope. Oh, but Chaz reversing. Oh! Big powerbomb lung blower. Excuse me, I felt the wind get knocked out of me even as I watched that happen. Hotshot Chaz doing a lot of domination in this match here. Doing everything he can, in fact. Amazing Spider-Man off the ropes, mimicking Little Guy in a way. You know, the movesets may be the same in some respects, but every person here has their own individual flair. Early pinfall only getting a 1 count. It's going to be a combined effort. The flair, the pageantry, of course, the in-ring acumen with a big bulldog there from Little Guy. The second variation of bulldog we've seen him pull off in this match. And a big overhead takedown. 1, 2, not quite enough. As I was saying, there are many ways to win a match. You gotta have a lot of different attributes and elements. You gotta be able to talk that talk, walk the walk, and overall just be able to beat the shit out of your opponent until they are left on the mat for 1, 2, 3, or a tap out. Little Guy looking for something big here. Could we be seeing the Hurricane Rana? Oh, what is this? Another bulldog! The third variation of that classic yet effective move. Little Guy is showing that he is a student of the craft here in this wrestling match. Looks like he's getting stuffed by Hotshot Chaz, though. Hotshot Chaz moving in for some offense here. Off the ropes for his slingshot elbow. I keep making a point to say that Mr. Chaz here has potential. He often calls himself out for not being able to get the job done in the end. He often says to himself, I've seen many things from him within the news feeds out in the world. Quick cover here. 1, 2, kick out there from the Supernova. You know, he talks a lot of shit about himself, but this man is just waiting for that one big moment to lash out. Speaking of lashing out, Amazing Spider-Man with an overhead as well. Little Guy breaking up the pin, though. Almost mocking Spider-Man in a way, there saying, I've got your number, I'm using my head. Now Spider-Man with the drop kick into the corner. This is turning into a Lucha Libre style affair. Not just because of the mask that Mr. Spider-Man himself is wearing, but with the high-flying action happening rope to rope. Bell to bell from start to finish, and Hurricane Rana even further cementing that fact. And a big Superman punch from the Supernova. 1, 2. Still not enough to put his opponents away here. Chaz, he's hurting. He's taking a lot of punishment here, but he's been dishing out as much punishment as well with a big spear. Not even a 1 count. His Little Guy happy to help out his Bar teammate if it's a tag team match, but like I said before, This is man against man against man. Every man for himself. And we're now left with the WWC winner. The Avengers Assemble GM. This is anyone's game here. WU Online is a fresh start to the action in Wrestling Unstoppable. A break, an alternate path within the universe that we all traverse. And a big moonsault stuffed with knees into the stomach. Could that be the turning point? Could that be what little guy needs? Big! Alternating cutter. I don't even know what to call that move except for big and effective. But Chaz quick to get in that ring. Reversing a DDT, and he is not willing to let this match go. Neither is little guy. Reversal after reversal. Another one. These two know each other. Move for move. You gotta pull out the surprise stops here in order to get the win. You know, that is one of the downsides of being in a match against a partner or a stablemate, because they know how you work your matches. Then you have the mystery that comes in with someone like Amazing Spider-Man pulling off a Hurricane Rana. 2 count here. Damn near a 3 off a surprise move like the Hurricane Rana. And a cutter as well, just like the one that little guy pulled off here. The little guy's up on his feet. I don't think he's going to let the spin go down. He is not. With a quick breakup. Into the corner here. What could Amazing Spider-Man be thinking? Got opponent set up in a trio. Whoa. You got 2 options when you put your opponent into a position like that. Inflict further damage, or perhaps leave them hanging. Leave them stuck. Little guy able to not only get out of it, but execute a big move. Going for a pinfall here. 1, 2, and 3. Little guy with a big win here in the opening moments of Money in the Bank. Relatively surprising move, but hey, what's a match without some surprise? This is only the first match of many to come here. Let's move on to the next one. And next up in the match card is that women's Money in the Bank match. I think Money in the Bank is pretty obvious in terms of what you get when you win it, but just in case you're not aware or you need a refresher, here's what happens if you win this 8-woman match. One of these women will climb a ladder and retrieve a briefcase that can be cashed in for a title shot at the WU Online Women's Championship anytime, any place, for an indeterminate amount of time, because I don't know how long the series is going to run. We have 8 tremendous women getting in the ring, ready to fight it out, secure that briefcase, and secure an absolutely massive win. You know, the Royal Rumble just happened. The Rumble itself is where I believe all of these women, except for Crazymamma, were actually involved. So it's easy to look at that and say, oh, that was the only shot to make it big. Nuh-uh. We have another opportunity here. And we're going to see which one of these 8 women can ascend quite literally and metaphorically to the big time with a big time win here. And out first, we have the incomparable Miss Thunder Thighs, a hell of a competitor. A lot of GM work over many companies. Let's take a look at some of the accomplishments by this woman. A 31-time Sterling Worldwide Women's Champion. That is absolutely nothing to cough at. Look at some other titles. 19-time champion in the Secret Division for Buckshot's Championship Wrestling. 19-time Elite Wrestling Corporation Women's Champion. And a 10-time Hardcore Heaven Ladies Champion. Miss Thunder Thighs knows how to get the job done when it comes down to a high-stakes situation. She's not the only accomplished woman in this match here. Everybody in this match has some form of pedigree, whether it be for championships, accomplishments, or otherwise. Next up, Crazymamma making her WU Online debut. Crazymamma actually had a very big moment in 2023, being a part of the absolutely massive main event for ILW's Bound for Glory event. She was part of that Fatal 5-Way, fighting along with Menzino, the Extreme Enigma, Mithras, and Magnificent Michael. Inducted into the Ring Wars Hall of Fame in November of 2019, as well as the War Hall of Fame in July of 2017. a member of the very multifaceted, very family-oriented Renegades. Crazymamma here is looking for a big debut with a big win. Things don't get bigger than WU Online. Any wrestler in Wrestler Unstoppable can be put into this. There's no need for a company. There's no need for restrictions. Simply existing and making the effort to be a part of this gets you in it. Everybody has a shot. Making her way in here next, we have an accomplished wrestler in both singles and tag team competition. It is Sassy Applebees. An absolutely tremendous wrestler. A lot of accomplishments under her belt. I mentioned the tag team pedigree. Her and Magnificent Michael form undeniably one of the best teams in modern WU. She has a load of singles accomplishments as well. A 19-time Canadian Championship Wrestling Royal Canadian Champion. More recently, in accomplishments that are only just now finding her way into her repertoire, a tag team champion in DNA, women's champion in PCW, and many, many tournament wins, as well as accomplishments alongside her stablemates in School of Hard Knocks. Out next in this big Money in the Bank match, we have someone with a very large, I suppose you could say, chip on her shoulder, looking to get a big win after suffering some major, just, for lack of a better word, traumas in 2023. Revenge here is out for blood, and out for her namesake as well. Perhaps her biggest moment in 2023 was in RAWF. A quick, brief feud with Chris Cage, one that left her broken physically. But she returned full of fire. She returned ready to not just right the wrongs that happened in that match, but take down anybody that looked to get in her way, in her path of destruction. Another Hall of Fame inductee. In fact, the most recent inductee into the Wrestler Unstoppable Hall of Fame. 15 Hall of Fame entries, as well as a Hall of GMs entry. Revenge Gibson is truly one of the most underrated wrestlers in all of Wrestler Unstoppable. And a Money in the Bank match win here would be absolutely tremendous for her accomplishments. Her first championship. A very interesting one. The NWF/CWF/NCW Championship. A title she has held 9 times. Now we have Honey Thunderapples coming out. More recently known for her work in Honey's Orchard. Putting on a multitude of tournaments and events. And overall keeping the community elements of WU alive and well. Nearly a dozen, if not over a dozen, USL wins alongside viewer discretion advised. Inducted into several Hall of Fames, including the WU Hall of Fame as of March 2023. There's a lot to be said about Honey Thunderapples, but she is somebody who prefers to let her fighting skills in the ring do the talking for her. Now making her way out to the ring, one half of one of the most notorious couples in WU. This is Natalia Nitro, one half of the Hip alongside Conk. Making a return in just March of 2023, yet already putting on some of the best work of her entire career. A grandfather induction into the Hall of Fame as of October 2018. A USL champion, not only in the Hip, the stable, but in Knockout Kings. Natalia Nitro is one of the best return stories in Wrestler Unstoppable history. Next up, yet another tag team extraordinaire, quite like Sassy Applebees, someone who often gets compared to them in both tag team and individual rights. One half of Hotness Overload alongside Menzina, we have Mrs. Brew Menzina. We want to talk about accomplishments. 17 USL championships spread across 3 stables. Inducted into the Wrestler Unstoppable Hall of Fame. the Hall of GMs, a Tag Mania Memorial Cup champion. And she went 19-0 in season 572 of USL. A very hard feat to do, a perfect season. And now we have the dark horse of this match, Deville, the third member of the Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects to be competing here tonight. A recent member, in fact, of the Brotherhood. We have somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of accomplishments under her belt, but she has some all the same, some very impressive ones, in fact. I mentioned a lot of USL stats here tonight. Kara actually managed a USL win not too long ago, season 713, alongside the Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects, but it's not about Brotherhood tonight. It's not about stablemates. No quarter for her opponents. That is the goal. Kara Deville is looking for her first big win in W Online with the briefcase. If she secures that, she secures a title match any time she wants, as does any competitor in this match as it gets underway. And immediately, you see the field getting divided. You see people finding targets in the ring and immediately getting to work. Crazymamma with 2 potential targets. Natalia Nitro going after Sassy Applebees. And Honey Thunderapples sending herself flying out of the ring with a crossbody. Mayhem has already began, and we're only seconds into the match, not even a minute. In fact, somebody has already grabbed a ladder with Miss Thunderthighs in the center of the ring here. Natalia with a brutal suplex on the outside. This is a match that's difficult to call because there's so much constantly going on. And right now, a possible early ending here as Miss Thunderthighs climbs the ladder, tries to secure the briefcase, but Revenge Gibson is quick to get there. Focusing the action away for just a moment here. Seems like the ladder has been knocked down, but Honey Thunderapples going to work with a double knee to the back. You know, technical work is just as important as big moves, just as important as whacking somebody with a ladder or sending them into the ring post. This is going to be a high-octane match from start to finish. Bodies flying everywhere. People getting knocked off of ladders just like that. Kara and Thunder going down. Miss Brew Menzino executing a beautiful German suplex and then, trying to go for an electric chair drop there on Natalia Nitro, but it was stuffed. It was stopped. Settling for an Irish whip instead. And Miss Brew is all alone in the ring, exuding confidence. We have Kara Deville here going for a move as well. Looks like a very similar move to Honey Thunderapples earlier in the match. I think the cameraman is obsessed with this move. Perhaps the cameraman is a student of the sport, but we have an attempt to bring down the briefcase. Being stopped by 2 women in the ring here. Down goes Mrs. Brew. And Revenge is having a good time about it. She is feeling confident after possibly keeping the match alive. And a kick to the back of the head for Natalia Nitro. Revenge here, putting on a clinic here full of strikes. And I gotta say it again, I think the cameraman really likes to see this move. Sassy Applebees has had enough of it, though. Stuffing it and executing a big boot followed by strikes. There will not be a moment of rest in this match. Whether it's a hold, a strike, a slam, a dive, maybe. Not for one moment will these women rest. Because above that ring, being held up only by a rope is your ticket to fame. Your ticket to a title shot. Crazymamma here. Oh, Jesus. Whipping Mrs. Brew into the corner where the ladder lay ready. Mrs. Brew shrugging it off, though. Completely disregarding the damage and taking down Sassy Applebees. In this type of match, you can only let your adrenaline guide you. You can only worry so much about what's happening for the long term. You have to think in the moment. You have to move when your body says move. You have to act when your body says act. And Crazymamma now, we're the briefcase. Making some progress on unsecuring it. But Revenge quick to follow. Revenge getting down. What's Revenge doing here? What's Kara Deville doing? and Mrs. Broom and Zeno. What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Crazymamma's Mrs. Money in the Bank. Those three women did nothing to stop her, except for distracting Sassy Appleby. Do we have a faction brewing here in WU Online? Only time can tell, and I am very interested to see where that develops. But coming up next, we have Devilson and the Razor for the WU Online Men's Championship. I'm still in shock from that match result. What is going on there? We're hopefully going to learn more of the possible partnership there. We've seen it before, where throughout a match, people will go after each other. We've seen them beat each other down as the match goes on, and then all of a sudden, a switch happens. A nod is given to each other, and we're welcomed by a sudden alliance. And I think that's exactly what we just saw go down. But now we're focusing on perhaps one of the biggest matches of the night here. It is time for the men's championship to be on the line between the defending champion, the Razor, and Devilson, who got a big win at the Rumble. And here comes the man in face paint himself. Like many competitors in WU Online, he is shrouded in mystery, but he is also shrouded in many accomplishments. Another Wrestler Unstoppable Hall of Famer inducted in June of 2020. Oddly enough, with this being Money in the Bank here tonight, his first accomplishment within Wrestler Unstoppable was winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Looking more recently, as the fire erupts, his most recent accomplishment was being inducted into the PCW Hall of Fame, and also winning the Impact Legacy Wrestling IWGP Championship. Would you believe it? He is a member of the Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects. They are all over the card here. You know, myself. If you're not sure who I am the Extreme Enigma. Devilson is an ally, but so is our men's champion, the Razor. Getting a big win over Aaron McFadden. This man and I are both in a little group called the Dirty Outcast Club. The Razor knows a lot about winning. The Razor knows a lot about keeping that title around his waist, just like any other title in his collection. Let's take a look at some of his more impressive championship contributions. He is a 17-time NWF, CWF, NCW Kentucky champion. A multi-time champion in DECW. One of the most accomplished tournament competitors in Buckshot's Wrestling Corporation. Most recently getting some very impressive wins in the conglomerate of companies that is music under the Crimson and Clover umbrella. But tonight, it's not about the championships he holds in Wrestling Unstoppable. It's about that title gold that he holds there in his hands. It is about what he can do to keep it around his waist. He's against a very game competitor here. Both of these men, no stranger to the championship environment. No stranger to doing whatever it takes to get championship gold or keep it. We're going to see who has more grit, who has more determination, and who is going to be going in to WU Online's version of WrestleMania. One of these men is going to be faced with a hefty task. That hefty task being facing off against the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble. Just who is that winner? They will be facing none other than Aaron McFadden, the man who originally fought Razor. You can either see a rematch or a very surprising turn of events here. The match having started now. Both men getting some early offense in. Devilson delivering elbows into the corner here. You can look at these two men in very different veins in terms of what their wrestling movesets look like. The Razor, someone who balances brawling with powerhouse aspects, and Devilson, proving here with a big elbow drop that misses, is somebody who knows both the value of technical work as well as striking. He will just as quickly put you in a hole that debilitates you, wears you down, as he will send a European uppercut into the back of your head just like that. And almost as if proving that point, we see a beautiful maneuver here, the Texas Cloverleaf alternation. Two very different aesthetics here. The Razor looking like he could fit in just as well at a biker bar as the ring, where Devilson harkens to some of the great masked and painted greats in our sport. Down on his neck there. The Razor putting some domination. Very reminiscent of a certain Finn Balor, but Devilson is a competitor all his own. We're going to see if he can forge his own legacy here in W Online with a big win. But first we have the big knee from the big man. Little arm breaker action there. A tables match is one of the most unpredictable matches that you can be a part of. At any moment, if you're in the wrong part of the ring at the wrong moment, you're sent through plywood. You're sent through splinters and pain. And it's over in an instant. The Razor looks to be wanting to end this shortly. Whipping Devilson into the corner. Devilson's caught off guard here. Devilson, could this be the end? Head first through the table. The Razor, just like that. Proving that if you even let up for a moment, if you even take your attention off the action for just a second, let your opponent get even a moment of an advantage on you, it can end just like that. Still your champion, and going on to face Aaron McFadden for that same title, defending the title once again. We have one hell of a rematch coming at WrestleMania. But next, one hell of a big, beefy, meaty brawl. It is the Wabbit Messiah versus Fire Chief Bill, and what is sure to be, for lack of a better term, I gotta steal the phrase. I gotta take it. This is going to be a fucking slobber knocker. And the first one out was a man who has known many names, had many faces. Currently, he is a literal mascot with fists of fury. Wabbit Messiah is here to just beat ass, really. Formerly known as Jobu, currently known as one of the most experienced stable wrestlers around. Wabbit Messiah is no stranger to winning big. Championship wins alongside viewer discretion advised in seasons 707, 705, 701, 699, 680, and many beforehand. A Hall of Famer in both the Sexual Frustration League as well as the Wrestler Unstoppable Hall of Fame. We're going to see if he can get a big win over his opponent here. You got to think, if you get a win in a singles match, not only does it just get another win in your column, that's got to give you some sort of indication that you could be next in line for a title shot. You could be in contention to face the champion. He's got to get through a very determined man in Fire Chief Bill. Forged in fire, living within the fire every single day. There's not enough flaming puns that can get the job done. As FCB lights the ramp in anticipation, the crowd is alive for him. Then around the block and back for over a decade of 7 feet of destruction. This man is a legend in companies such as Cajun Swamp Wrestling, Wrestling School of Excellence, Death or Glory, and of course the Radical American Wrestling Federation. FCB is looking to prove that he belongs in the main event. FCB can get a win here. Like I said, that could bode very well for him, getting a championship opportunity. And there is a big rumor that another championship is making its way into W Online. So if FCB can get the win here, that just shows that he's ready for that next moment. And the crowd is loving him. Look at this. No fucking mercy indeed. Forged in fire, ready to bring the pain. Wabbit Messiah, FCB. One-on-one here in W Online. We are underway with the match. And FCB immediately trying to deliver some big strikes. It took a couple before the Messiah could be taken down, though. That just shows the pure grit on display from him. FCB isn't going to lay down for just a moment, though. He isn't going to let up for even a moment. Ooh, but he will take a big kick from the Rabbit man. You know, there's something almost foreboding about the Wabbit Messiah. There's something almost unsettling about a giant white rabbit shrugging off hits just to deliver a big enziguri. Now we're on the outside of the ring. The outside of the ring is a very dangerous place. That goes without saying. There is a lot that can happen out here. You have the steel steps, the barricade, the hard, unforgiving floor as well. FCB delivering a big punch to the gut here. Neither man backing down. Keeping it... Oh, the ref staying involved here. Looks like the ref's keeping up on the action. Wabbit Messiah taking his time getting back into the ring, measuring his possibilities here, measuring his choices. It looks like all the same, he was greeted with a big knee to the face. Oh, and FCB looking for a submission hold here. Could we see... Looks like a Boston Crab. Wabbit Messiah is right there at the ropes, though. If he can't get out of it the hard way, he can just grab that rope and get out of it. But he manages to flip FCB out of the hold. Now resorting to some classic wrestling prowess here. Maneuvering his opponent before dropping them neck first on the ropes. Ooh! And then taking a shot to his own neck with a big clothesline, followed by the knee once more. Both of these men are juggernauts. There's nothing that anybody can say when it comes to their determination and grit. The power is just obvious, from the muscles to the stature. Quite possibly how he kicks out of this. Yep, just like that at a 1 count. Those cold, lifeless red eyes of the Wabbit Messiah show no mercy. With FCB, it's no fucking mercy all the same. It looks like we might be going back to the outside of the ring here. Big punch. And here come the beats of the Firehouse. 3, 4, I missed the number. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down goes the Rabbit. Now, overall, FCB has really been dominating this match, and a big boot to just even make that more apparent here. An elbow. FCB picking apart his opponent in a way that we don't see very often here. And a boot right back. These men trading blows. If even just for brief moments before the offense goes back into FCB's favor, at least so far. But he's brought down with a Michinoku driver on the outside of the ring. The ref's count going further and further. Ooh, into the steps. Wabbit Messiah using every part of the ring. I mentioned it earlier. There is a lot of bad things that can happen out here. The FCB's back in the ring to break the count. 7 count here, but FCB heading back out. Just to get fooled by the Wabbit Messiah, who's following out once more. Just when these men think they have each other figured out, the script gets flipped. But all the same, it's punches and blows and kicks and damage being delivered every second of this match here. Wabbit Messiah, a bit of a karate look, a bit of a sort of hi-ya type of feel. As you can see by this move that's very popular here tonight, if you haven't noticed, with the cameramen zooming in the same way every single time. Rabbit knows how to wear down his opponent, whether it be by big moves, technical holds, patience, or adrenaline. And oh god, what are we going to see here? Onto the barricade! FCB taking a big shot right on the chin. You got to be careful out here, though. Wabbit taking his time, but we are at a 6 count. Soon to be 7. They got to get back in the ring here, or risk the count out. And Wabbit breaks the count. He might be out for a little more than just the win here. He might be trying to inflict as much damage as possible to FCB as revenge for the early domination. Ooh! He just sent FCB face first into the steel. I'm surprised that he isn't busted open from that. We may need to get someone out here to separate these two if the match just continues like this. Wabbit could just be looking to inflict as much pain as possible, win or loss. He's just trying to hurt his opponent here, but FCB manages to reverse it. That might be the moment he needs to get this thing back under his control. Two men lining each other up, and FCB smartly gets back in the ring to bring this back to a certain level playing field. A spear into the side of FCB. That had to be a big hit. 1, 2, 3. Wabbit Messiah just put on a clinic in the middle of this ring, turning the tides of what was initially a very dominating display. You gotta think, that's gotta mean something big for Wabbit Messiah, getting a win like that. FCB here, though. What's going on here? Extending the hand, and a mutual show of respect. Wabbit, like a feral animal inside the ring, but I think even he, once the bell rings, realizes we're both out here just to wrestle. We're both out here to have a good time. It just happens to be that Wabbit Messiah's idea of a good time seems to be inflicting as much pain as possible on his opponents. And that was an absolutely massive win for him. But next up, we have a fatal four-way match for the WU Women's Championship. The new Women's Champion, Arachnia, will be defending against Black Lilith, Sassy NMOD, and Jade Storm. Move to the match here. We're nearly done with the night already. It's hard to believe we're so many matches deep, but the action isn't stopping for even a moment here. Coming out first, we have Sassy NMOD. Accomplishments, you can't... There's too many to count here. The owner of Warrior Outlaws Fight Club. A member, of course, of NMOD, as well as the recently formed faction, Privately Violent Cartel. Her championships nearly outweigh, I think, anybody so far here tonight. So many titles have found their way into their hands. Sassy's hands, I should say. An Impact Legacy World Tag Team Championship most recently. A Death Door Hardcore Tag Team Championship. But on the singles side, she is also a 24/7 champion in many different places. A multiple-time lottery tournament fatal four-way champion. The accomplishments don't stop with simply one path, and she's looking to add a WU Online Women's Championship to her repertoire. She's got to get through a couple different competitors here tonight, including the always invigorated, always energetic Jade Storm. From the streets of Liverpool, she comes ready to fight, ready to scrap, ready to do anything she can to get the win. Jade has had a very brief career in terms of championships, having been in the game for just over 12 years, but only winning so many titles. Let's take a look at her brief accomplishments that are still very impressive with a short list. A Fate Grail Heavyweight Champion in Fate Wrestling Federation. A 5-star Pro Wrestling Diamonds Champion. A 2-time Jungle Run Wrestling Champion. A television champion in 5-star Pro Wrestling as well. And of course, an 8-time Grand Royal Wrestling Lightning Champion. Currently making a name as one of the top competitors in FWF. She is, without a doubt, the fan favorite to win this match here tonight. She's got to get past Sassy NMOD. She's got to get past the champion. She also has to get past a very interesting opponent in the enigmatic, the immortal goddess herself, Black Lilith. Not much is known about Black Lilith outside of her accomplishments within the wrestling world, and boy does she have plenty of those. An initial retirement came in May of 2010 for a September return. Of course, after that, it was all history-making, day by day. Another brief championship repertoire, but big things all over the board. Recently winning the USL Championship in Season 709 alongside Punitive Ensemble. A multiple-time webisode winner. Championships range from FTW to SFL to IWA to Saturday night's main event to the Church of Conk and much, much more. Black Lilith is a name that many know, but too few actually take seriously. The amount of people who underestimate this woman is in the dozens, perhaps the hundreds, because they think, oh, short repertoire with that long in the game, there's got to be something that keeps her from getting to the top. That can all change here tonight. All it takes is 3 women going over the top rope, and she has secured her place in WU Online history. 3 women waiting in the ring, though. That leaves one last entrant, the champion herself. And here she is, securing the title from Maeve at the last event. This is Arachnia, perhaps the most well-known name for women's wrestlers in WU. Period, in fact. A 2014 Hall of Famer. The championships, everybody in this show tonight has won championships, but not many people have won them in the multitudes that Arachnia has. 25 reigns as the Olympian Rhapsody Era champion. 18 as the Singles League champion in Death from Above. Posing with that title now. You name a company, she has been there, she has held gold, and she has most likely dominated. In my own company, Impact Legacy Wrestling, she is the longest reigning Knockouts champion in history, but tonight is the W Online Women's Championship that she looks to defend. She can successfully defend this. That's not only a big win, of course it's a big win in her book. She goes on to the main event of WrestleMania. We are underway, strikes all over the place, a hip throw, big kick, another kick. Not quite the hectic nature of the Money in the Bank match, but there's still plenty to see and plenty to keep track of. Sassy reversing with a big move, but Arachnia reversing with a kick of her own. And a suplex from Arachnia. German suplex from Jade Storm. Sometimes you just gotta let the action breathe. And when it comes to elite, established competitors like these four, you just gotta sit back and watch the magic happen. Big clothesline from Jade Storm. Another suplex from Arachnia there. And another clothesline. Looks like repetitive moves are the way to go about this match. You know, if offense is effective, you keep going to the well for it. You keep going for that same move that you know is going to succeed over and over because you know there's damage to be had. Hip toss takeover into the knee. Jade Storm showing off that UK grit there, that UK brawler style. And here comes more with these open palm strikes. A lot of different fighting styles can be employed when you grow up on mean streets, and Jade Storm is showing that off in spades here. Oh, there goes Black Lilith. Sassy NMOD eliminating Black Lilith with a big clothesline out of the ring here. And she is fired up. We have the champion in the corner now with Jade Storm. Jade Storm eliminates the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is down to 2, and we are guaranteed a new champion here tonight. Jade looking for a big move. And drops Sassy on her skull there. That Jade Storm be looking at a championship here. Jade has Sassy in the corner. Jade is just moments away from possibly winning a championship here. Sassy getting turned around just in the same way that Arachnia was eliminated. This could be a quick match here. But a quick win is exactly what you want. Send all the adrenaline rushing forward to get your opponent out of that ring. But Sassy manages to reverse it with a big punch there. It only takes one moment of distraction, one moment to take a big move like a head scissor takedown just like that. And now, oh Jesus! That is perhaps one of the most impressive moves we've seen all night. A springboard shooting star press back into the ring. Looks like it was supposed to be a moonsault, but alternated, changed. Jade Storm shaken, but not completely defeated here. Neither is Sassy. Both women fighting back, reversing, doing everything they can to stay alive here. There's the gradual kicks, though, and a reversal. I think Jade Storm's rocked here. Jade Storm being taken across the ring, guided by Sassy NMOD. What is she looking for here? Tilt-a-whirl arm drag, old school style, off the corner. And really all this match needs is a moment just like, possibly just like this. Sassy has Jade on the ropes here, literally. Could this be it? Sassy sends Jade Storm out of the ring. We have your new WU Online Women's Champion. It is Sassy NMOD in a very quick, very exciting, high-paced match. And there she is, given the gold. Things can end in the blink of an eye. And all four of these women fought hard there. All four of these women did their best, but only one can come out as the champion. And now, it's the big one. It's the men's Money in the Bank match. I do believe this is the final match of the night, and we have a star-studded lineup. Super Saint, Conk, Magnificent Michael, Billy Gunn, the Extreme Enigma, myself. I'm in this match. Look at me go. Red Blood, Blake motherfucking Bradley, and DVT. A lot of personalities, a lot of polarizing opinions out in this ring, and a lot of people looking to secure a future title shot. It's not very often seen. There are some truly interesting situations that can come when you're the Money in the Bank champion. You can cash it in after you win the case if you really feel so inclined. You can cash it in the moment you pull it down. You can say, champion, get your ass out here. We're going to see just how they go about it. But there are 8 men here. Like I said, limitless possibilities. The first one coming out for this Money in the Bank match is Billy Gunn himself. Taking his time getting out to the ring, we have the owner of Determination Alliance, this gem of the School of Hard Knocks, recently making his fame by being guided, being groomed into a unstoppable, stable wrestler. We're excited to see if he can take that experience that he's earned alongside the School of Hard Knocks, SOHK, and apply it to this match here. In Toronto, Ontario, Canada, he is ready and willing to do anything it takes in order to get the big win. We've seen Billy get some big underdog moments in his career to the point where I wouldn't even consider him an underdog anymore, purely for what he has accomplished thus far. He is ready to go from underrated to undeniable here in this Money in the Bank match. In fact, he actually just won the most recent season championship for USL. But here comes a very interesting competitor. A former rival to Billy Gunn, a former tag team partner, the owner of Impact Legacy Wrestling, and perhaps the most interesting person in Wrestling South Africa. It's me. It's the Extreme Enigma. Now, I can toot my horn all I want, but I'm just going to make it brief. 4-time USL champion, 126 titles, 178 reigns, the longest reigning television champion in Fate Wrestling Federation history, and the most sexy individual in Wrestling South Africa. I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm ready to get that fucking case. Future Hall of Famer, 24/7 Chris Cage hater. You know, I GM in so many companies, I run a company, I do this shit. What the hell is wrong with me? Why do I constantly do this to myself? For fun? What the fuck? Coming out next is the other half of Undeniable. We saw Sassy Applebees out here earlier, and now we have Magnificent Michael. I think every tag team is only as good as their individual members, and Michael is a hell of an example of that. A 13-time USL champion with Knockout Kings. Over 2,000 fans. A champion in damn near any company you can name in the modern era. This guy knows how to get the job done. He knows what to do, whether it be by pure grit, dirty skills, or what have you. He'll find a way to get the win here. Perhaps he can find a way to climb that ladder, get the win, and secure his spot in WU Online history. But he's got 7 other competitors to get through, including this man here, Red Blood. Another underdog. Not much is known about Mr. Red Blood, outside of his love for, well, the color red. But he has been around for a long time. Almost 10 years with nearly 4,000 fans. This isn't a name that you'll hear in everyday conversation, but when his name comes up, there are accomplishments to talk about. He is an 18-time champion in Dark Destruction Hell. He is the is the master of the cage, of the elimination chamber. He is an Irish destroyer heavyweights. He is a man of many talents, and he's looking out here to make people remember his name one way or another. Moving from one man that is underrated and not known too well to a man who is constantly reminding you who the fuck he is. This is Conk, the World Breaker, the Messiah, the legendary man himself. One half the hip. And one hell of a competitor. This man, I'm in a little group with him called the Dirty Outcast Club in RIWF, and I've seen firsthand exactly what he can do when he throws down. Because he throws down hard. Next up, coming out to the ring, we have a debut in Blake effin' Bradley. Perfect. This man, the originator of everybody's favorite phrase on the feed, calm the fuck down, Sonya. The architect behind the the Blake Bradley Institute. One of the most outspoken men in the modern WU landscape. There is nothing that he won't say. There's nothing that he won't do. This man is the epitome of get the job done and get it done in style. So we're going to see if he can win a big match like this in his debut. Notice I'm not talking a lot here about Super Saiyan. That's because this man is silent but deadly. You don't hear him talk a lot. You don't hear him in conversations, but the brief conversations he does come up in, it's all about domination. He's a world domination winner in Church of Conk. He is, of course, a member of the very decorated, very dominant School of Hard Knocks. Super Saint is a very simple man. Simply one of the best wrestlers in the modern Wrestler Unstoppable landscape. Simplicity may be the key here, because realistically, it's a simple thing to do. You climb ladder, you take that in that briefcase, and you win. Looks like we have one more entrant here. You know, it's hard to keep track when you have all these amazing wrestlers in the ring. But how can you forget Dick Von Thunderpants? Another outspoken person, very similar to Blake Bradley, in fact. This man is an... what would the opposite of an Enigma be? An outspoken, crabby bastard, but in the best kind of way. This man, if there's one thing he knows, it's winning. If there's another thing he knows, it's talking shit. But he is one of the few that can do both at the same time in short order. Riding in on a Harley. I have taken many a beating from this man myself, and I can tell you, there is a lot to this man. But let's take a look at some of his absolutely tremendous accomplishments. an FBW Hall of Fame member, a WU Hall of Famer, a 13-time FBW World Champion, a Hall of Infamy inductee, a Hall of Shame spokesman, and just an overall powerhouse. The accomplishments are the last thing to think about in a match like this. All your accomplishments go out the window, and the only thing that matters is what you can accomplish win-wise here. You gotta accomplish the small but impossibly difficult task of climbing the ladder and bringing down the briefcase. And just like before with the women, we see early, almost pairings happening here. For example, Magnificent Michael and Blake Bradley fighting it out. We have Conk and Billy Gunn having some words. Ooh! The Extreme Enigma bouncing off the ropes in a crossbody, throwing himself in harm's way, sending himself into the ladder to hit Red Blood with that crossbody. Red Blood's pissed now. He's ready to fight, and he's already forgotten about the Extreme Enigma. Magnificent Michael putting on a brief little technical outplay here. He had a figure four locked in Blake Bradley earlier. With an elbow now, Irish whip, throwing him around like a piece of meat. Red Blood with a big knee in the center of the ring here. The majority of the competitors are in the ring as well. Conk laying down a lot of punches here, a lot of fists. He's a regular bar brawler. Not quite a Brotherhood of Alpha Rejects member. But you give this man a drink in his hands, and it's game over from there. And he tosses Super Saiyan out with ease. Quickly being followed by DVT. Imagine the tag team between those two. DVT and Conk as a tag team. Absolutely unstoppable. Shit talkers who know how to throw a punch. But now Red Blood, one of the first people to climb a ladder, one of the first people to ascend. Extreme Enigma. Oh! Knocking the ladder down with pure just presence alone. And sending Billy Gunn down with a powerbomb as well. The masked, face-painted Enigma, quite literal Enigma, doing what he can to put in some early hurt. Red Blood shrugging off both him and Billy Gunn. And taking him down with a big clothesline. I think we all know who the big dominant man in this match is right now. It's the absolute juggernaut, the powerhouse. Conk not wanting to waste any time though with a big knee on the outside, showing that he's not the only one putting in work. Red Blood, he is... Oh, teaming with Blake Bradley for just a moment there to deliver a double suplex. Red Blood is dominating here with just beating up anybody in sight, really. Throwing kicks and punches and a big power slam to Blake Bradley. The action here is all over the place. Red Blood finally knocked down for just a moment here. Magnificent Michael. Ooh, big body slam there. Extreme Enigma, another powerbomb on the outside there. And was going to be a suplex from Magnificent Michael, but interrupted. A lot of people just throwing punches, looking for something to land, looking for something to make contact with an opponent and cause some damage. Out goes Red Blood. Oh, Conk here, what's he got cooking? Pedigree! Pedigree from the Wrestling Messiah, Conk. You got a large portion of the men outside of the ring fighting it out in individual fracases, individual brawls on the outside here. Conk's all alone in that ring with Blake Bradley knocked down. He could easily ascend, grab the case, and secure his spot in W Online history. He's got to make it up that ladder first. It's a heavy climb for a hefty guy like him. You got Michael and Bradley both up in the ring, but Michael causing a distraction here with a suplex. And Red Blood knocks it down. What's he got cooking here? Electric chair drop. Big move, taking Conk out of the match for even just a moment. Red Blood's not stopping. DVT is not just going to sit by and let that happen, though. Fighting out of it and tossing him over his head like a rag doll. Like a toy. And here comes the Extreme Enigma. Ascending the ladder, but DVT's got a close eye on him. Enigma thinks against it. Possibly a bad decision, though. It looks like he's on his way out of the ring. Oh, but Billy Gunn has his hands on the briefcase. Blake Bradley just going for a burst of adrenaline here with the ripcord clothesline. But DVT not having it. Oh, ooh! DVT just brutalized Billy Gunn with an absolutely massive powerbomb onto the steel of the ladder. And now he's just torturing Billy Gunn here. And Billy's tapping out. This isn't the match where you can get out of it just by tapping out Billy. You have to endure the punishment until somebody wrenches down that briefcase. But he manages to get a big move out of desperation on BBT. Big brawl happening on the outside, but Red Blood, he is pacing. He is waiting for a moment to get in there. Possibly and deliver some hurt, but Billy Gunn. What's Billy Gunn do? Oh! Wasting too much time, perhaps thinking for a big move, a big diving move, but Blake Bradley, using his presence alone, knocks that ladder down, and now it's him and DDT brawling it out. Conk and Enigma brawling out with a big DDT. The ring's starting to fill up with superstars again. Red Blood really taking his time on the outside here, really not wanting to get too involved here, because he knows this is a big man. People are going to want to target him immediately. Super Saiyan trying to get some offense in with that ladder. Looks like it went against him. DBT wearing down the limbs. Michael being the opportunist. I wonder if we're going to get a similar ending here than what happened earlier in the night. We saw, again, that possible alliance. I'm still not quite sure what happened between the women in the Women's Money in the Bank match. Could be something cooking. You never know. But Michael has his hands on the briefcase, but we're looking at a headlock on the outside of the ring for some reason here. Enigma cinching that in on Conk. Pretty solid headlock there. Good Anaconda Vice, but somebody's trying to pull that case down. It's Super Saiyan, but he is being stopped by Blake Bradley again, taken down himself by Magnificent Michael. It looks like Super Saiyan any second now could fall. Blake Bradley just eviscerated Michael, and Super Saiyan just knocked down Enigma. Bodies, literally and metaphorically, flying all over. This is wrestling. This is W Online. This is a highly unpredictable match here. Now Michael will be looking for something big here, but Super Saiyan fights out of it just in time. The ring emptying, and Blake Bradley now making a move, possibly for the ladder here. He grabs it. Body's back in the ring here. A lot going down. Red Blood's still on the outside. You gotta wonder, what is his game plan? He's not even really fighting anyone. He's just kind of hanging out. Magnificent Michael just took Blake down with a big ladder shot, though. He's all alone in the ring. He is climbing. Could this be Michael's moment? It might be, but Blake getting to his feet here. Blake trying to knock that ladder down. And he doesn't do it in time. Blake couldn't knock it down. Magnificent Michael is Mr. Money in the Bank. And just like that, we have another card in the books. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Money in the Bank go down live. Some big repercussions, some big moments. The next time I see you, it will be for W Online WrestleMania. I will see you then.